Here is the President of the United States yelling for some reason in front of a helicopter.
So I just watched the clip, and Joe Biden this morning totally disparaged and insulted the black community. What he said is incredible, and I don't know what's going on with him, but it was a very insulting statement he made, and I guess you'll figure that out. You'll see it in a little while. But
yeah, let's figure that out. So Joe Biden said something about the Hispanic community being more diverse in terms of the political beliefs, I believe. Let's see if I can figure that out. It was on 2020, powered by Yahoo. Joe Biden. Let's see. I've only said, and what you see. Oh, it's from 20 hours ago.
Mr. Vice President, your opponent in this election, President Trump, has made your...
Hold on. Let's pull this over and see what all this hubbub is about. Well, there we go. Excuse me. I am eating crackers with something I'm addicted to. It's bitchin' sauce. Chipotle bitchin' sauce, which is vegan and gluten-free. You get it at Costco. And it is the devil's condiment. It's completely addictive. Let's see if we can figure out, get to the part here.
Mental state, a campaign topic. And when asked in June if you'd been tested for cognitive decline, you've responded that you're constant.
This wasn't it. So it was another clip from 2020. Hold on. Eric Trump tweeted it, but I'm sure there's more to it than what Eric Trump tweeted because they don't do a lot of research. And I think Trump actually retweeted it as well. But hold on. I know that Eric did. I got to find Eric Trump, though. I put in Eric, and it didn't immediately go to Eric Trump because he's not famous. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, so this was on 2020. It's the same outfit. So, yeah, it is from the 2020 interview yesterday. Here, I'll pull it up over here so you guys can see what I'm talking about or what everybody's talking about. Here it is.
By the way, what you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African-American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things. Yes, and by the way, what you all know, but...
Okay, so apparently that's insulting to the black community. Now, the black community did vote for Hillary 91% to only 6% for Trump, whereas Latinos voted for Hillary 66%. And he could be referring to the fact that Latinos are comprised by almost 3 continents worth of different racial origin, whereas African Americans primarily came from Africa. Many of them are descendants of slaves. But in terms of their community viewpoint, they do tend to be more cohesive in their support of political candidates. But without reference, we don't know what he was talking about there. So let's see if we can't find something about 2020 Biden. See, that's the problem. So that's what show is this, though? Let's see here. Powered by Yahoo News. Let's play it again here so we can see. Let's
the African-American community with...
NABJ, NAHJ Convention and Career Fair. I'm sure we can dig up more information than this. Let's see. Biden says Hispanic. David, have you heard anything about this? Hey, Joanna. Hey, Steph. Good to see you. More diverse. And over on the other screen, at 3:15, we're just waiting for Trump to make comments on the economy. Okay, here we go. So this is Joe Biden interview. Let's see if we can get more context out of this. Listen to the article. No. And this is on the National Review, so that's right wing. But they tend to be more down the middle than a lot of the other outlets like Breitbart. Okay, and this was on... Okay, National Association of Black Journalists and National Association of Hispanic Journalists. Oh, okay. So he did an interview with them, but where is the link? Biden told NPR Lulu Garcia Novara. Okay, so this is Yahoo. Oh, okay, so this is where it's going to be right here. And let's see who was talking to in the clip. in the clip that is now gone. Give me a second here. Let's go back to Eric Trump. And we're just researching with this clip and see if it's taken out of context here.
What you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things.
Well, so there's notable distinctions. This is 2 minutes and 1 second, so I can't hear this. Hold on.
TPS, temporary protected status to Venezuelans. Cubans, though, are now questions that I'd just like to get through because they are incredibly important to the Latino community. First of all, you are extending TPS, temporary protected status to Venezuelans. Cubans, though, are now being deported in unprecedented numbers. Would you stop those deportations?
What I said, I'm going to look at entire temporary, I'm going to look at every single country in the world that in fact is being, and this guy's sending them back. The reason why I came up with Venezuela is he's not even allowing it to exist in the first place. And so the TPS program is something I will move on the first day I'm in office to make sure that we extend it to people. We look for too long, we didn't get it right. But here's the deal. I think that we should be extending it. Anybody can prove that they are in jeopardy to go back to their country, and the reason they came in the first place, they should be able to stay in the United States of America until the circumstance changes in their country. And that's why, by the way, I put that program together to provide. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Are you going to re-engage with Cuba, though? I mean, I'm specifically wondering about, the Florida communities that are, incredibly interested in the Cuba issue and see status given to Venezuelans while Cubans are being deported.
The answer
will
is
you
yes.
re-engage
I'm
with
going to
Cuba?
engage. Yes. Yes. And by the way, what you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things. You go to Florida, you find a very different attitude about immigration in certain places than you do when you're in Arizona. So it's a very diverse community.
Okay, well, that's true. I don't know if that's insulting to African Americans. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, yeah, that's what he said. In terms of viewpoints, with notable exceptions, Hispanics as a group have more diverse opinions than African Americans, and that's largely true, as he pointed out. In dealing with immigration in Cuba, in Florida, you might have a very different viewpoint. Hispanics do. And this is shown in the polls. They have very different attitudes towards immigration than they might have in Arizona or Washington State. And that's true. Whereas I don't know specifically how uniform the African American viewpoint on immigration is. But, he's not saying that everybody who's black is the same. So, just another faux controversy. Let's go back. Let's see. We're not at the economy talk yet. Let's go back and watch. Wait, where'd it go? There it is. Here we go.
It was a great insult to the black community.
Was it, though? The insult is him saying how much support he has in the African American community. Last time, according to Pew Research, he got 6% of the African American vote.
We're going to Ohio. We have great things happening in Ohio.
Governor just got coronavirus.
A lot of wonderful things happening for the country. I'll probably be talking to you a little bit later about the coronavirus. We're going to try and keep that at about the same time. We have a lot of good information, some new information. Vaccines are doing very, very well. We had some good talks this morning on vaccines and on therapeutics. A lot of good things are happening, right? On the vaccine?
Oh, yeah. So apparently somewhere Trump said that the vaccine should be ready around November 3rd, which is coincidentally the election. So that's what the question was about.
I am. I'm optimistic that it'll be probably around that date. I believe we'll have the vaccine before the end of the year, certainly, but around that date, yes, I think so.
Will that help you in the election?
It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt, but I'm not doing that.
The question is, would that help you win the election? By the way, I'm eating crackers on camera because A, it's delicious because of the bitchin' sauce from Costco, and B, it's Casual Thursday.
Doing it not for the election. I want it fast because I want to save a lot of lives.
In an interview this week,
Now he wants to save lives.
people dying of coronavirus, you said that's true and it is what it is. You used the words "it is what it is." Is that the message?
You'll look at the statement I made right after that, because if you look at,
what it is, but that doesn't mean we aren't doing everything we can.
yeah, and I said something after that too.
What message does
So,
that
so the message that I have is very simple. Nobody can do what I've done in terms of all of the things that we're doing to combat this horrible disease that never should have been sent to us, that was sent, it came from China, should never have been allowed to leave China. They could have easily done something. They stopped it from coming into China, but they didn't stop it from coming into the U.S. and Europe and the rest of the world. And China should have done something about it. And
Okay, what he said right afterwards, saying it is what it is. Well, we'll play it. We watched it yesterday on Axios. He goes on to say that we're doing everything we can. You know, we've got it under control, which is nonsense. Hold on. I'll pull that up. Give me a second. I can get it. Here it is. Right over here, kids. Okay, so he says it is what it is in terms of 160,000 Americans dead, which he kept saying was 140,000, which for some reason I haven't seen any coverage of whatsoever. You would think people would be outraged. He's just discounting 20,000 dead Americans. But we're all concerned about whether John Lewis impressed him or not. Here we go.
They listen to you. They listen to every word you say. They hang on your every word. They don't listen to me or the media or Fauci. They think we're fake news. They want to get their advice from you. And so when they hear you say everything's under control, don't worry about wearing masks, I mean, these are people, many of them are older people,
What's
Mr.
your
President.
definition of control? Yeah, under the
It's giving them a false sense of
right
security.
now, I think it's under control. I'll tell you what.
How? 1,000 Americans are dying a day.
They are dying. That's true. And it is what it is. But that doesn't mean we aren't doing everything we can. It's under control as much as you can control it. This is a horrible plague that beset us.
You really think this is as much as we can control?
Well,
1,000
I'll
deaths
tell
a
you, I'd
day?
like to know if somebody, first of all, we have done a great job. We've gotten the governors everything they needed. They didn't do their job. Many of them didn't, and some of them did. Someday we'll sit down, we'll talk about the successful ones, the good ones.
Okay, so I'm not seeing what he said right after it that made it is what it is any better, but okay. I mean, am I missing something, guys? Trying to be fair. I let it go for 25 seconds and he ended up talking about how there's good governors and bad governors, and someday he'll sit down and tell us about it.
frankly, it's a disgrace that they didn't.
Mr. President, are you going to be talking to Governor Cuomo when you're in New York?
We'll be talking to Governor Cuomo. They're looking to do a project, the 2nd Avenue subway, as you know, and we're talking about that. We're also talking about the tram from the airport to a certain location. So we'll be talking to him, yes.
So this weekend, are you going to meet with him, or?
I think they have something scheduled, maybe in Bedminster. Yeah.
What evidence have you seen about children being immune from this virus?
What evidence have you seen about children being immune from this virus is the
All
question.
you have to do is read the newspapers or read the medical reports.
Well, the CDC, Mr. President, says there's a...
No one has said that children are immune. Immunity is a very specific medical term. And children are not immune. That's just not the way it is at all. All you have to do is read the medical reports. Like he's reading medical reports.
What price did China pay for what they have done the entire
Well, we're going to see. What China did is a terrible thing. Whether it was incompetence or in purpose, it was a terrible thing that they did to the world. Not only to the United States, but to the world. A terrible thing.
got any comment on the Attorney General moving to dissolve the NRA?
I just heard about that. That's a very terrible thing that just happened. I think the NRA should move to Texas.
Okay, so the New York AG is suing to dissolve the NRA after investigating the NRA and having members of the NRA and previous members of the NRA come forward and say, yeah, there's all kinds of payouts and embezzlement, millions of dollars going missing. And so they want to dissolve the NRA. So this is Trump's reaction. Rather than, oh, well, they did bad things, they should be held accountable. I mean, the AG investigated the Clinton Foundation for 2 years and found nothing. Meanwhile, people in the NRA came to the AG and said, hey, here's what's happening. Remember the whole scandal with Wayne LaPierre?
And lead a very good and beautiful life. And I've told them that for a long time. I think the NRA should move to Texas and lead a very good and beautiful life. And I've told them that for a long time. I think they should.
So tell the criminals, go to the state where they'll just ignore what you're doing. Because in Texas, they don't care if you embezzle millions.
Move to Texas. Texas would be a great place, or to another state of their choosing. But I would say that Texas would be a great place and an appropriate place for the NRA. This has been going on for a long time. They've been absolutely decimated by the cost of that lawsuit. And it's very sad, but I would suggest that that's what they should be doing.
The YouTube chat appears to be working, Dr. Howard, so there it is. Hey, Marcy.
Thank you.
Is that it? Maybe? Oh, hold on. He makes a joke. He waves. Looks like he may be answering additional questions over here. We're just talking to somebody. I can't hear because there's some sort of loud noise in the back, some sort of industrial noise, several decibels above the president's voice. I don't know. I mean, this is something like this gives me reason to believe that the White House should have some sort of room where they could do press briefings before the I know, it's silly. And all right. Well, he will do a bunch of things, RM. He'll do a bunch of ineffectual nonsense executive orders fixing everything, none of which will actually have any teeth to them whatsoever. Bye-bye. He's going to fix DACA. We're going to have fantastic we're going to be able to buy life or medical insurance across state lines, which, by the way, several states already allow, and not a single healthcare plan offers it. Mississippi has always allowed that. There's not a single health. It's just the states have to handle the healthcare. The trouble is, there's 50 states. By the way, originally there were 19 stupid states that didn't allow the expansion of Medicaid, which is our money. So we pay money for Medicaid, and then we get it back if people want to be on Obamacare, which is part of the Medicaid expansion. And that's actually what I'm on right now, because I have a job. So it's a wonderful system, and I've been paying into that system for years. Everybody else in California, everybody else in the country has been paying into that system for years. But 19 stupid states led by Republicans when Obamacare first came out said, we're not going to accept that money. And the federal government said, but here's this money. So their people in the stupid states had to pay, you don't stop paying it, had to pay for Medicaid, and also had to pay for all the uninsured people when they went to the hospital or the ER when they got really sick, which costs much, much more than them just going to a regular doctor when they feel sick or even for yearly checkups. If you wait to go to the ER, it's much, much more expensive. So the cost of healthcare in those states that didn't allow the Medicaid expansion skyrocketed. The irony of it, their people were already paying for Medicaid, and they decided no. Anyway, last night, one of the M's, Missouri or Mississippi or something like that, finally okayed it, and I think we're down to 11 states now that don't do Medicaid expansion. Somebody will know the answer to this. Guys, does anybody know which state it was yesterday that approved that? I can look it up quickly here. So we're done with that. Let's make this small. And we'll just type in approves. Come on, Kevin. Approves Medicaid expansion. Okay, news. Okay, who did? Missouri. It was Missouri. So they finally, and it was the voters, by the way, not the politician. So through their ballot measure, which was proposed by the citizens, they passed it. And 250,000 people in Missouri could end up getting health care through the Medicaid expansion. Yay! No, Washington, Sheila, was one of the very smart states right off the beginning. I got to say, the Washington state unemployment system has some problems, but they finally caught up with everything. It took them 134 days to catch up with me. My case is very strange because I've got employers and 1099s, and I get paychecks from an episode of Grimm in 2015. Like, I'm just wacky. But Washington, when I moved back up to Washington during the beginning of the COVID outbreak, I got onto the Washington State website, the Washington Healthcare Plan Finder website, and 10 minutes later, I had insurance. California, I think it took 6 weeks when I first moved down here. Not for Medicaid, but for just picking a healthcare plan off of the marketplace, which is Obamacare. It's basically a marketplace that you have access to. If you have a job, you get healthcare through your employer, which is a ridiculous system. But anyway, that's you're in one of the smart states.